I was still holding the acceptance packet from the University of Minnesota when my mother called me into the living room. Her tone was sweet, but brittle, like she already knew the news I wanted to share did not matter to her. Before I could speak, she said, "Your brother just got invited to the Junior Nationals. Do you understand what this means for Logan? The story you are about to hear is a fictional work created by the writing team of the channel Revenge Pulse, inspired by real-life situations to convey lessons about family, emotion, and human values. All characters and events are illustrative." My father looked up from his laptop long enough to add, "It means opportunity. Chloe, for all of us." I held my envelope tighter. I got accepted. They increased my scholarship. "It covers almost half. Half is not whole," my father cut in. "Logan's path is clear. Yours. We can navigate later." Logan wandered in, still in his baseball warm-ups. He smirked. "Come on, Chloe. You know this is big. You can start school any time. Nationals happen once." "It is not a once thing for me," I said quietly. "University starts in August." My mother sighed, the kind of sigh that meant I was being inconvenient. "Let us celebrate positives today. Logan's future could change everything for this family if we support him fully." There it was, fully. A word I had heard my whole life but never felt applied to me. My father closed his laptop. "We need a family reset. A road trip this weekend. Willow County. Your grandparents need help, and we need time to strategize." Logan grinned. He already knew the plan. I could see it in his eyes. I stood there, caught between pride in my acceptance and the sinking certainty that my moment was already dismissed, folded away like a garment no one chose to wear. As I headed to my room, I felt the shape of the story forming the kind people listen to because they recognize a piece of themselves in the quiet child overshadowed at home. If anything in these chapters resonates as you continue with me, sharing your thoughts helps others feel less alone. And if you want more stories like this, you can follow along for the next parts. But that day, all I could do was hold my envelope, breathe, and prepare for the first crack in the life I thought was finally beginning. The morning we left Denver, my acceptance letter sat folded in my backpack, its edges soft from how many times I had held it. My father loaded the last suitcase into the car and said, "Let us keep the energy positive today. Logan needs focus." Logan slid into the back seat beside me, humming like he had already won something. "Coach says National Scouts might be there. This could set me up for college deals, maybe even early drafts." My mother adjusted the mirror. "We have to invest properly. Momentum matters." Then she turned toward me. "Chloe, you understand that, don't you?" I tried to answer evenly. "I understand his career is important. I just thought mine mattered too." A beat of silence. My father cleared his throat. "Your path is flexible. Logan's window is not." We merged onto the interstate, cornfields eventually replacing the city skyline. My mother waited until Logan took out his headphones before saying, "We talked last night. His training program will cost more than we anticipated. Specialized sessions, travel." The nutritionist Logan cut in, pretending to sound apologetic. "They said if we commit fully, I could make Team USA Juniors. It is huge." "Chloe," I pressed my palms together. "So what does commit fully mean exactly?" My father kept his eyes on the road. "It means reallocating your college fund, temporarily." The word hit me like a shove. "You already promised that money. I start school in 8 weeks. That is why this is difficult," my mother said softly. "We must prioritize the child whose opportunity is time-sensitive." Logan tapped my knee. "You will bounce back. You always do." I pulled my leg away. My father added, "This trip will give us clarity. Your grandparents could use your help. A gap year builds character." Outside, the Willow County exit sign appeared. Inside, something in me tightened, small and hot, like a fuse catching fire. No one in that car noticed. My grandparents' farmhouse came into view just after noon, its paint peeling and porch sagging in a way I did not remember. Grandpa Sam stepped out first, wiping his hands on an old towel. "Well, look who finally made it," he said, smiling at all of us until he noticed the luggage. Grandma Marjorie's voice followed from the porch. "You did not say you were staying long," my mother answered too quickly. "It is a short visit. We just need to talk through some family logistics." Grandpa's eyes softened when he looked at me. "You doing all right?" "Chloe," I opened my mouth, but my father's voice covered mine. "She will be more than all right. She will be helpful here." Grandma frowned. Helpful how my father lifted one of my suitcases. My suitcase, the one I packed for college orientation, not a weekend visit, and set it on the porch. "Chloe will stay for a few months. Maybe longer." I felt my breath come tight. "You said a weekend. You said we were resetting." My mother placed a hand on my shoulder, a gesture that looked gentle but felt like restraint. "This is temporary. Your grandparents need support. Logan needs full parental attention. It balances beautifully." Grandpa stepped forward. "Rick, Elaine, this is a lot to spring on us." Logan shrugged. "Come on, Grandpa. She is good at adapting." I turned to him. "Adapt to being left." He rolled his eyes, suddenly impatient. "Do not make this dramatic. Nationals are in 2 months. This is bigger than all of us," I whispered. "Just not bigger than me." "Right." My father's jaw tightened. "We all make sacrifices for the family. This is yours." Grandma's hands trembled as she reached for mine. "Honey." "Did you agree to this?" "No," I said, the word leaving me like breaking glass. "I thought we were all coming back together." My mother lifted her purse strap, already stepping toward the car. "We will call every week. Focus on gratitude. Chloe." "This is an opportunity to grow." Grandpa's voice rose. "Rick, you stop a moment. This is not right." But my father was already opening the driver's door. "The decision is made." Logan gave me a half smile. Half win. "Thanks for taking one for the team." The car doors shut, gravel spit under the tires. My parents did not look back. I watched the vehicle shrink down the long dirt road, my suitcases beside me, my grandparents silent at my shoulders. When the dust settled, everything that had once felt like my life settled with it. My first morning on the farm began in the dark, long before the sky shifted. Grandpa Sam knocked once on my door. "Cows do not wait for heartache, kiddo." I forced myself up. My palms burned within an hour, the unfamiliar motion scraping blisters into skin that had only ever held pens and textbooks. Grandpa kept glancing at me. "You can say you need a break." "I am fine," I said, even though my voice shook. Grandma Marjorie waited in the kitchen afterward, watching me try to grip my fork. "This should not be happening to you," she murmured. I swallowed hard. "They said it was temporary." She exhaled like she had heard that lie before, long ago. Later, while Grandpa napped, I went searching for bandages in the old desk by the barn window. Instead of first aid supplies, I found a stack of thick envelopes, my name printed across everyone. I froze. Orientation packet, housing confirmation, financial aid updates. Then one letter that made my knees hit the floor, a full-ride scholarship offer, tuition, room, board, everything. All dated months ago. Grandma found me sitting on the floor, surrounded by envelopes. "Chloe, what is all this?" "They forwarded my mail here," I whispered. They knew. They knew I had a full scholarship. They knew I did not need the college fund. My throat tightened. They took my future anyway. Grandma knelt slowly beside me. "Honey, your parents told us that you withdrew. They said you needed time to mature." I held up the unopened letters. "I never withdrew. They did this. They signed things for me. They hid everything." Grandma pressed a hand to her mouth. "They lied to all of us." Anger rose, hot and shaking, mixing with something heavier grief for a life stolen before it began. Grandpa's boots shuffled in the doorway. He took in the scene, the letters, my face. "So that is what they did," he muttered, voice low with something like fury. "They traded your certainty to gamble on Logan." I looked at the envelopes again, the weight of what might have been pulling at my ribs. "I do not know where to go from here." Grandpa placed a steady hand on my shoulder. "Then start by standing. You are not done yet." But at that moment, it felt like I had been undone completely. Grandpa Sam carried the stack of letters to the kitchen table that evening. He did not sit. He just looked at them, then at me. "They took more than money. Chloe, they took direction." "That is worse." Grandma Marjorie set a mug of tea in front of me. "What do you want to do now?" "Honey." Her voice was gentle, but the question wasn't. "I wanted to go to college," I said. "I wanted to study business, maybe agriculture management. I had a plan." Grandpa leaned his hands on the table. "Do you still want those things?" "Yes," I whispered, "but not by begging them for it." He nodded once. "Good, because you are not going back there looking for scraps." I took a shaky breath. "Then I need another way." Grandpa pulled out an old laptop, the kind that whirred when it thought too hard. "Start with learning how this place works. Every dollar in and out, every acre, every crop." He pushed it toward me. "If you understand a broken thing, you can figure out how to fix it." I opened the laptop. The farm books were a mess, gaps, handwritten notes, expenses with no matching revenue. "How have you kept this place alive?" I murmured. "Stubbornness," he said. "Not much else." Grandma sat beside me. "There are grants for young farmers, programs for people who want to rebuild land. You might qualify." The idea flickered like a match catching air. "What if I try?" I said. "What if I write a proposal, a real one? Something that could help all of us." Grandpa's face softened. "Then we stand behind you." For the first time since being abandoned on that gravel road, I felt a shift, not a return of what I lost, but the beginning of something I could claim. I closed the laptop gently. "All right, let's start." The grant confirmation arrived on a wind-bent Tuesday, tucked between feed store coupons and a seed catalog. Grandpa Sam handed me the envelope without a word, though his eyes held something taut and shining. I tore it open. My breath caught. "They approved it," I whispered. $65,000. They actually approved it. Grandma Marjorie pressed a hand to her chest. "Oh, Chloe, honey, you did that." Grandpa exhaled, long and low. "Then it is time we do our part." He disappeared into his room and came back with a folder of legal papers. He slid them across the table. "What is this?" I asked. "Transfer of ownership," he said. 40% of the farm goes to you now. The rest when we are gone." My throat tightened. "I cannot take that." "You already have," he replied. "In work, in heart, in showing up when others did not." I looked between them. Dad will lose his mind. Grandpa's expression hardened. "He lost the right to an opinion when he left you in our driveway." The papers trembled slightly in my hands. Grandma covered them with her palm. "This is your home now. Chloe, not a punishment, a beginning." 3 years passed like seasons layered on top of each other. Work, exhaustion, learning, rebuilding, failing, trying again. I built greenhouses from grant funds. I created a subscription service. I negotiated contracts with restaurants across Nebraska. I hired local teens who needed income. The farm became something alive again, something expanding. One evening, after we finished loading a truck for delivery, Grandpa wiped his brow and grinned. "You know they called you the builder of Willow County in that magazine article." I rolled my eyes. But quietly, I held the words close. They did not erase the hurt. but they anchored something new inside me. Grandma joined us on the porch, leaning into Grandpa's side. "Your parents ever call?" she asked softly. I shook my head. "No. And if they do, it will not be about me. It will be about needing something." Grandpa nudged my shoulder. "Then you be ready not to give, but to stand." I watched the last delivery truck disappear down the road I had once been abandoned on. Now, it led somewhere else. I was sorting invoices in the packing shed when Grandma hurried in, breath thin. "Chloe, there is a car in the driveway." I stepped outside. A silver sedan I knew too well sat beside the barn. My father stood by the hood, older, heavier, holding himself like a man who had prepared a speech. My mother stayed close to him, eyes rimmed red, and behind them, slowly climbing out of the back seat, was Logan. His right arm hung stiff against his body. My father spoke first. "You have done well for yourself. The farm looks functional." Grandpa Sam appeared behind me. "Say what you came to say." "Rick," my mother stepped forward. "We need help. Chloe." Her voice cracked in the middle. "Real help." I crossed my arms. "Help with what?" My father glanced at Logan, then back at me. "His shoulder is torn. Full rotator cuff tear. The specialists cost more than we expected. The house is close to foreclosure. His throat tightened. "We are running out of options." Logan avoided my eyes. "I did not ask them to come." He muttered, "But I cannot pitch any more." I swallowed the complicated ache that rose. "I am sorry you are hurt. Truly. But why are you here?" My mother clasped her hands. "Because you have stability now. Because you could support us while we rebuild, just until things settle." Grandpa stepped between us. "She does not owe you a cent." My father stiffened. "We are still her parents. And she was your daughter when you left her on my land." Grandpa fired back. Logan suddenly looked up, eyes shining with something raw. "I did not want any of that. Chloe, I never wanted your money or your life. They told me you would be fine." I faced him directly. I was not fine, but I built something anyway. My father let out a frustrated breath. "We can present a united front again. A family story. It would look good for everyone. Investors, donors." Grandma cut him off sharply. "You want her success for your image." Silence fell. I turned to Logan. "I can offer you work, a place to stay. But not because you are family, because you are willing to start over." My mother blinked rapidly. "And us." "No," I said softly. "You came for resources, not reconciliation." Logan nodded, slow and ashamed. "I will take the job. If you will have me." My father grabbed his arm. "Logan, we are leaving." But Logan pulled away. "No, you two made your choices. I need to make mine." My father stared at him as if seeing a stranger. I stepped aside, pointing toward the barn. "Then come inside. We start early." Behind me, I heard my mother whisper, "Chloe, please." But I did not turn around. Logan followed me into the barn, the door closing behind us with a soft thud. He looked smaller than I remembered, his confidence folded down into something quieter. "You meant it?" he asked. "About the job?" "Yes," I said. "But it comes with rules." He let out a short, humorless breath. "Figures." I pulled a clipboard from the wall and handed it to him. "You start at the same wage as everyone else. You clock in, you clock out, you take instructions. No special treatment. Not from me, not from Grandpa." He stared at the checklist. "I have never done farm work. Then you will learn," I replied. "Or you will leave. Those are the choices." Logan nodded slowly. "I can do that." Grandpa stepped in, wiping his hands with a rag. "Your room will be the cabin out back. It is small, but warm. You keep it clean. You show up on time. Logan's voice cracked a little. Thank you. Grandpa shrugged. Gratitude is proven with work, not words. A car door slammed outside my parents. Still waiting. Still hoping. Logan winced. They want me to get in the car. You know. And I asked. And I am not going. He met my eyes. I cannot go back to being who they made me. I felt something shift, not forgiveness, not yet, but recognition. Then tomorrow you start with the egg run. It is brutal. 5 a.m. He gave a tired half laugh. I deserve brutal. Grandpa clapped him on the shoulder. 5 Sharp. If you are late, I lock the coupe. Logan managed to smile. Thin but real. Outside, my parents' engine revved, then faded down the road. Inside the barn, for the first time. My brother stayed. 2 months passed before I heard from my parents again. The envelope arrived in the late afternoon mail, thin and tentative, as if afraid to weigh too much on my life. I set it on the kitchen table while Grandpa washed up from the fields and Grandma stirred soup on the stove. When I finally opened it, the handwriting hit me first, my mother's careful loops. We are leaving Denver. Your father's job fell through. We will be moving to Arizona to stay with relatives until we recover. We hope you will someday forgive us. We will not contact you again unless you choose it. There was no apology, only distance dressed as courtesy. Grandma touched my arm. You all right? Honey, I am, I said, and I was because the letter did not feel like a wound. It felt like a door that had already been closed. I folded it once, then again, and fed it into the kitchen stove. The paper curled, darkened, and disappeared. Grandpa watched the flames. Sometimes the cleanest future comes from ash, he murmured. The screen door creaked, and Logan walked in, sweaty from work, cheeks ruddy from the cold. Egg run is done, he said. 3 cracked, but I will pay for those. You do not have to pay for every mistake, I answered. Yes, he said quietly. I do. He sat across from me, rolling his shoulder gently with his good arm. They called me earlier, wanted to know if I would come with them. I kept my voice even. Did you want to? No. He inhaled. I wanted to tell you I am staying, for as long as you will let me. Grandpa put bowls on the table. Then eat. No one makes big decisions on an empty stomach. As we sat, Logan looked around the warm kitchen, the steam rising from the pot, the quiet safety he had never earned until now. Chloe, he said, I cannot undo what happened, but I want to be someone worth trusting. I nodded. Then keep showing up. That is how trust grows. Grandma smiled softly. Families are not made in a day. They are made in the doing. Later, after dinner, we all walked out to the porch. The dusk settled across the fields, gold melting into blue. Logan leaned on the railing beside me. Do you ever wish things had gone differently? No, I said. I wish they had gone honestly. But differently I looked out at the greenhouses lit from within, humming like small suns. This is the life I built. I would not trade it. He exhaled long, as if releasing years he had been carrying. I get that. Grandpa joined us, resting a hand on each of our shoulders. Pain comes whether we plant it or not, he said. But what grows after that is choice. We stayed there until the sky faded completely, the farm breathing around us, steady and alive. Logan's shoulder brushed mine, not in apology but in acknowledgement, a beginning, not a correction. If you have followed my story to this point, thank you for staying with me. Stories like mine matter because they remind us that endings can look different than we expect, and beginnings can come from places we never wanted to be. If pieces of this journey echo something in your own life, your voice in the comments can help someone else feel less alone. When the porch light flickered on, we turned back toward the house together. Not a perfect family. Not the family I was born into, but the one I chose to grow.